Hi guys, it's Andy from J-Spec here. I hope you're all having a very nice and relaxing weekend, and hopefully some of you are working or driving and enjoying your MR2s and your Sleekers and all your wonderful Toyota sports cars. I thought I'd do a quick Sunday update. It's been, I don't know how many weeks. Rather than calling them Sunday updates, I defaulted just to calling them to Andy's Random Rambling, because that's what they tend to be. But I'm actually having quite a chill Sunday for a change. I'm not on the road, I'm not in the workshop, I am in my home office. This is where I sit and talk to a lot of you guys from and do admin and things like that. Stacey does a lot of that stuff as well on her laptop, but she prefers to do it sitting anywhere in the house except in the office. She spends all day at the workshop at a desk, so she doesn't really like sitting at a desk on her. We don't really have days off, but days, not official working days. So I thought I'd let you know what I've been up to, what we're up to at J-Spec, and just a wee general catch up with you. It's that time of year where lots of you start to take your roadsters out of the garages out of winter hibernation. That's certainly what I'm going to be doing over the next coming weekends. A lot of you might not realise, I try and be fairly strict with use of the workshop. I use the workshop obviously Monday to Friday for various things, for stripping cars, for doing repairs on other cars and all the various things we do. I try to allow myself a Saturday morning to work on my own projects. That was something I brought in this year. I used to try and do my own car during the week, and it would just get in the way of sending out parts, and it didn't flow very well. So I sort of change things around. I try and do parts for all you guys Monday through Thursday. We don't tend to ship out much on a Friday. We found there's a bit of a trend on a Friday with things getting damaged in transit. I've got a theory, might be wrong, might be right. I know some of you guys that follow the page work in the logistics industry. Some of you are delivery drivers, some of you work in depots. Maybe it's just me, but is everyone in a hurry on a Friday? Do people drive a bit faster? Do things maybe get thrown about the vans? Do they then, when they get back to the depot, get thrown in cages? Do they get handled more on a Saturday and a Sunday? Is Monday morning way busier because the depots are busier over the weekend with all different things? So we generally decided not to ship things out on a Friday just to reduce the risk of damaging, and so far so good. I can't remember last time anything really got damaged. Maybe a quarter panel we sent someone, unfortunately. It picked up a little ding in transit, which was unfortunate, but as most of you guys will know, very few things that get sent out from J-Spec get damaged. We do use DHL predominantly. DHL are a little bit more expensive than a lot of the carriers, but they do an excellent job. They've, touch wood, they've never lost a single thing we've given them, unlike other couriers we used to use in the past. So they do a really good job. We've got our own account and a good relationship with the drivers and stuff, so it's really good. So, but yeah, as I said, random ramblings. On a Friday, I try and use Friday to do what I call sort of business projects. So we've got just things like project cars that are more belong to the company as opposed to our own personal cars. I try and do some of those on a Friday, but the reality is, you know, we're so busy Monday through Thursday that come Thursday night, the stuff that's not quite finished or stuff that's not quite been sent, stuff that's still stripped off cars, or things that needs finishing in the workshop, or even just clearing the workshop up after a really busy couple of days. There tend to be bits of cars lying everywhere and I can't deal with the place being messy. So Friday sometimes overspills, ends up doing that, or end up out the workshop delivering things, picking up things. Some of you guys will have seen, I was all the way down in near Birmingham yesterday. I got up at 3, was on the road for 4. I made it down there. I met some of you guys on the way down. It was very nice meeting some of you. I met up with 5 of you yesterday. Delivered some parts to you all. I also picked up a whole load of parts. You may think I've got so many parts with all the cars we dismantle. You often find that, you know, you maybe dismantle, say, 4 cars. Out of those 4 cars, you won't get 4 full sets of parts. For example, 2 might have terrible wheel bearings. So you may only get 2 wheel bearings rather than 4. 1 may have a terrible steering rack. 1 might have a rusty rubbish U-joint. 1 might have a bad engine, or a lot of them have bad engines. 1 might have a crunchy gearbox, 2 might have crunchy gearboxes. Roasters recently have been a little bit tricky to get a hold of as well. We've still managed to pick up a few, as you've seen. You might have noticed there's not been so many on the trailer recently. They're just getting a bit harder to find. But don't worry, we've still got about, I think last count there's about a dozen of them in various stages, still all to be dismantled. So there's certainly no shortage of parts. But I had an opportunity to buy a lot of parts already stripped. Nothing particularly exciting. You know, there wasn't anything, you know, yeah, I guess exciting is the best word to use. But it was all really important parts for you guys and for ourselves to use. It was things like steering racks. I've noticed a real trend recently with cracks along the mounting points of steering racks. More and more people are contacting me looking for steering racks for this very reason. When I had the opportunity to get some, I thought, yeah, I'm going to get some. Discussion progressed, and I've ended up with loads of just serviceable parts. Things like hubs with good bearings. A few of my customers told me recently that they find it difficult to get a hold of wheel bearings. The easiest job, getting wheel bearings at a roadster hub, maybe it's just me, I know some of you guys feel this as well, trying to remove ABS sensors and trying to remove bearings from the hub carriers is very, very difficult. Everything's seized, everything's stuck. What I always recommend is just unbolt the hub, bolt a good used replacement one back in, with the ABS sensor still in place, plug it in, job done. So I stocked up in a load of good hubs, already removed from other cars, ready to bolt on. Things like mass sensors, coil packs, all the bits and bobs that we know go wrong, because they're just good to have sat on the shelf. We're in the process of maybe developing an online shop just to have all these kind of standard parts. I still advertise unusual things on all the groups and things, but it would be quite good for people who need just your normal wear and tear parts like steering racks, like hubs, like calipers, just to be able to nip on and click buy and get them delivered, rather than maybe having to message me. You can of course message me, I love hearing from you guys, but we're just trying to slicken the process up a little bit as well. There's a wee bit of behind the scenes of J-Spec and how we like to operate. As always guys, thank you very much for everyone that's placed an order. The last couple of days have been mad, so many of you order things this weekend. Look out for copies of invoices coming out. I think Stacey and I are actually going to sit and do it tonight rather than on Monday. We normally just sit and go through bank and PayPal and these things on a Monday, tie up with payments to orders and go through it. But I'm finding that by the time we get through it on a Monday, it's almost lunchtime and it slows down getting stuff sent out because, you know, DHL come at 2 o'clock every day. So I think we're going to actually sit tonight and try and do that. So keep an eye on your inboxes. And again, thank you to each and every one of you that's placed an order ever. Certainly in the last week, we're so internally grateful for all the business you guys put our way. We enjoy looking after you as well. There'll be a lot of parts getting shipped out Monday, Tuesday this week. There's lots and lots of orders, so we're just going to really all day Monday, all day Tuesday, get everything sent out. Plans for later on the week. Some of you have seen we bought what we expected just to be a breaker car. I actually didn't know anything about the car. I didn't see a single photo. Someone called and Stacey answered the phone as she often does. Some of you know I'm generally working a car, I've got gloves on, I'm dirty, so Stacey often answers the phone for me. It was a local customer saying that their Sable has failed its MOT. Sorry, no, they didn't say their Sable. They said our Red Roadster has failed its MOT, interested in buying it. We said, of course. Stacey negotiates with the customer and we went and picked the car up. I didn't know anything about it. Stacey spoke to the lady, Stacey agreed everything. She ran the price by me and drove down the trailer. The car was located in a narrow street which we couldn't access with the trailer. So Stacey just walked around the corner. I set the trailer up. I did put a little video on our WhatsApp group. Some of you may have seen it that follow the page. Stacey appeared round and it was a red edition. So as you know, there aren't many red editions about. And I thought, you know, it's a little bit of a shame to break things like TFs, red editions, the kind of unusual colours. They're not in limited supply. And going forward, it'd be nice to see more of these cars out on the road. So I decided that although the red edition had loads of good parts, it had a beautiful roof, beautiful interior, it had all clean Sable panels, which I know you guys are often looking for and there's not a lot of supply for. I decided that this car maybe we should try and save it. The previous owner has invested a lot of money in it. They had a brand new subframe in the back. It looked like all the arms had recently been replaced. It had new shocks and springs in the front. It had new calipers, new brakes, good tyres, and it generally been a really well looked after car. A lot of the cars we get have been often neglected or really high mileage, or they're just only really fit for braking or a serious investment, which is why they come to us. This car did need quite a lot of time spent on it. I needed some real specialist skills to get it going. The car was really sound, and I was speaking to someone about this just yesterday. I think what the previous owner had done, they had parked it at the bottom of the driveway, and the nose of the car was overhanging the edge of the driveway, maybe to where it was a sort of grass area. So the front radiator support and the front cross member, is where the steering rack sits. That's pretty much all that sits in the front cross member. It was completely rotten. It was rusty, crumbly. I put a picture up as some of you have seen in the Roadster group and the J-Spec group. As soon as I tried to undo the bolt from the wish arm, it actually broke the full subframe. Other than that though, the car was really nice, which was surprising. Normally cars that have that amount of rust on them, the whole cars are just rotten. You know, the back shaft legs are really crusty. Other than that, this car was tidy. So I'm not sure why that rotted that way. Either that, or it was just never really getting cleaned. The fronts suffer from where the undertrays are. They gather up a lot of salt and crud, and maybe just collected on the front subframe. The heat from the radiator is a perfect thing for corrosion. So, but that's by the way. The front subframe in the Roadster, it's not a bolt-on replacement like the rear, but it is a fairly simple replacement. A lot of people don't realise it's held on with 6 spot welds. It's not even seam welded on. So we had another red edition that we broke last year that I still had sitting about. It still had some good bits on it. It was a relatively rust-free car, but it was really high mileage, and the bodywork was really bad on it. The roof was bad on it, but we made use of a lot of the other parts from it. So I chopped up the front of that car. I cut out the full box around the radiator, and I cut out the front subframe, and I had a local welding specialist come to workshop, and they drilled out the corroded subframe and they welded it back in, and it looks tremendous. I posted a picture up. It looks really nice. So the plan is to get that car built back up. I'm going to put a nice low mileage steering rack back in. The rack's out. The car's only done 90,000 miles. The rack was just a little bit surface crusty. The pipe's a little bit crusty, so I'm going to put a good used rack on it. I'm going to put a good used set of power steering pipes. I've got some better wishbones and things I'm going to put on it. It's got new shocks and stuff on it, so just get a wee front end refresh, get the car all valeted, machine polished, get it looking its best, get a year's MOT on it, and the car's going to be for sale. So if anyone's in the market for a 90,000 miles, 2005, so 2005 will be the revised 1ZZ engine. It'll be a 6-speed box as well, which is really nice to drive. Beautiful red perforated leather, nice original red roof as well. So really nice car. The car's going to be up for sale hopefully the next week or so. So keep an eye, that'll be our first for us doing that. My own project cars, I post up a little opinion on the Drivers Club. I normally post up mainly in the UK Roadster group, but I thought I'd put this in the Driver Club. I know the Driver Club's got a good variety of Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3. So if any in the Driver Club watching this, please drop a comment on my post. I don't know what to do about a stereo. Some of you have seen I recently acquired one of my dream cars. I've always wanted to own a Mark 2 turbo. Ever since I was a wee boy, it's kind of what got me into MR2s in the very early days. Looking at Mark 2s when they were new. I was an 80s child, so they came out as my early interest of cars in the late 80s, early 90s. I don't know whether to put an original stereo back in it, a slightly more modern but still old stereo, modern stereo. I don't know what to do, so give us your opinions on there. My turbo's nearly ready for the road. It needs an alternator, a good machine polish, and a little bit of paint work. A good friend of mine is going to paint a front bumper and a front wing for it. The wing's got a little dent in it. The front bumper's just a little bit misshapen, the paint's really bad on it. Once the bodywork's changed over, full machine polish, MOT, the wheels are away getting refurbed just now. I have 4 tyres to go on that, so I'm really looking forward to getting the turbo on the road for the summer. Our Mark 3, our poor little Mark 3, absolutely love that car. a lot of you have seen that I blew the 2ZZ. Well, I didn't blow. Dan Sylvester or Danny DC2 blew the 2ZZ, but don't worry Dan if you're watching this, no grudges. I have a new engine on a stand ready to go in. I'm probably going to try and work a couple of Sundays and get that swapped over. I should be able to swap it in 2 days. Some of you are sitting saying, oh Andy, that's ages, I can do it in half an hour. Yeah, well, I don't know, I'm maybe a little bit more thorough, a little bit more methodical, but I'm maybe a slow mechanic. It takes me a couple of days to change an engine, maybe even 3 days. The plan is, I've got to put a deadline on it. What we're on, middle of March. By the first week in April, our Mark III will be on the road with its new engine, ready to go. I've got a nice new intake to go on it. I've got a beautiful exhaust from Thomas and UK Roadster Group, a nice stainless 2ZZ, very PPE style exhaust to go on it, so I'm looking forward to trying that. Currently runs a Rogue exhaust. It'd be an interesting comparison. I said to Thomas I'll try and book a dyno day, and I'll swap the exhausts and dyno again on the same day. So I'm currently speaking to a local company to try and make that happen. It'll be interesting to see if we gain more power from it. So yeah, turbo on the road, Mark III on the road, Mark 1, we have a Mark 1 as well. It needs a bit of welding, what Mark 1 doesn't. I need to try and get that in the workshop, get it up and get a local welding company in to do a few bits. Nothing major. It needs 2 front wings, it needs a little bit in the chassis leg, a little bit on the B pillar, needs a little bit of welding put onto it. That car will eventually get a full stripped down restoration, but I'd like to at least have a couple more years of just driving it as it is before that happens. That's really the news on the project cars. I'm definitely going to have the Mark III and the Mark II on the road this summer, bring some events and let some of you guys see them. We've got a camper van to finish as well. You'd have seen the Alphard that I'm using a van just now. That will be converted to a camper. Not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but I decided I fancy building a camper van. So I came up with that idea before I realised how busy I was doing parts for all you fabulous guys. So that idea has been going on and on and on and on. We've got a replacement for the K-truck that Stacey had a bad accident in. That just needs a fog lighting tool for an MOT. I think we're probably going to sell that. Lots and lots of fun. We kind of had a fun with it. Did we use it that much? Not particularly. It was handy, but it's only really good for local jobs. It couldn't do any distance, and I do a lot more distance, so I think I may use an Alphard going forward as a van rather than use a little truck. That's really kind of my news. I'm looking at the clock and realising this is 17 minutes, so I hope you guys are bored. For those of you that are still listening, thank you for listening to my ramblings. It's always nice to sit with the camera and have a little chat and stuff. Also means I'm skiving from doing housework chores. Stacey's organising Sunday lunch and we just got a food shop delivered. I know, do you guys get your food shop delivered? Do you go out shopping? We kind of mix it up. When we're trying to be really healthy, we get a food shop delivered because it means you're not walking around the supermarket picking up crisp and chocolate and yeah, try to get into the race car diet. I'm not sure I'm going to fit in my Sparkle seats, although I'm sitting in one of my Sparkle seats from previous and it still fits okay. I'm still in it, but yeah, I could do a couple of kilos off. You can see a little bit here for me. So, but anyway, we digress. So guys, I'll wrap it up. Once again, thank you very much to each and every one of you that's placed an order. At all, especially those of you who've placed orders recently. We're eternally grateful for the business, and we'll get everything out to you as quickly as we can. We look forward to seeing a lot of you out and about. It's getting to that exciting time of year where there starts to be meets and drive-ups and things, so I'm very, very motivated to get certainly our Mark III on the road and this time our Mark II on the road. I'm looking forward to doing some of these events. I know some of the MR2 Scotland guys might be having some events up here as well, so I'm looking forward to maybe going to some of these shows and just doing some of the runs and things and getting out and about. Guys, thank you very much. I'll see some of you on the groups. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and thanks for spending the last 20 minutes of your Sunday listening to Andy rambling on. Have a good weekend, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.